Well, hello, hello. It's evening. I was a little bored, so I was playing around with some of the walk-up music. And I also had messed around with custom announcer sounds instead of the walk-up music. So what I've done is I grabbed one of the teams in our draft league here, which is Manchester Red Bolts, and pretty much for their starting lineup, I was able to go in and add custom walk-up music, which is plate music over here. And for example,
Next up, the catcher and a Cuban baseball legend, Rafael Almeida.
that's an example. Hey, Robbie. Robbie just joined me. Um, I'm going to fire up just an exhibition game because I want to hear it go through the lineup and see how it sounds. What I did is I signed up for one of these free accounts and started playing around with Microsoft Azure. And what I have access to with that subscription is I can come in here and just start getting the neural voices and playing around with the styles, them shouting and different things and putting emphasis and the pitch and everything. And it lets me type text and then I can export that MP3 file. So we get about 10 seconds, I think, of walk up music. So I'm trying to put some really cool things about the players as they walk up versus just songs. So here's the one for Al Rosen. So I'm going to fire up the game and see what these sound like. Because my goal would be you can make kind of customize these, and it's free, Robbie. It's part of. I have a Microsoft account anyway, so it's free to go to Azure, and then I think for free I can do up to 500,000 characters in a month or something like that for free. And since I'm only going to be typing, a couple sentences here, I don't think I'm ever going to run into that problem. So let me fire up an exhibition game. I'm going to we're going to go because it does it for the home team, the walk-up music. We're going to go at Manchester. I'll grab my team. And I'm going to say, let's go. Put them on computer. I'm just going to let, let's do computer lineup for pitches. We got DeGrom against Bob Gibson. So what I'll do is, so here we go. I think I've got all these players in here for the Red Bulls. So let's see how things go.
Play ball!
So I'm coaching my team here, so let's see if we can get. I'm more interested in the sounds than the gameplay. Oh, here we go. What do I got going on here? What the heck is going on with this? All right, I've encountered some issue there. Go back to this exhibition. Oh, let me start it back up. Just wanting to enjoy my sounds here, so let's resume a game. It's going to be Detroit at Manchester. Ah, right here. Let's see what we got. Let's get back here. So we got Charlie Smith up. Don't know what happened there. Bassler with the catch. Let's see Parkway out here. Get everybody back in order here. And let me get through my lineup, and I'm anxious to see because MV's team here is going to be home, and I'm anxious to hear what this announcer sounds like. So there's the third out.
Stepping to the plate, the second baseman for your Red Bulls, the 1975 and 76 MVP.
I got to shorten that because it has 10 seconds and I didn't get to hear his name. So here we go. There's the announcement for Joe Morgan. Grounds one to Tejada. He's going to make the throw over, and he just gets it.
Next up to bat for the Red Bulls, the 1890 leader in batting, shortstop Jack Glasscock.
Sounds pretty good, better than the built-in narrator. Poor play. Looks like Glasscock is safe at first, so let's see who's up next.
Batting, the winner of the 1936 Triple Crown, the Iron Horse, Hall of Fame first baseman,
Colossal hot dog. Not a ball game.
Good pitch to Gehrig. He's going to fly it to Willie Mays for the out. And Glasscock will tag.
Up to bat is the 1929 batting leader from San Francisco, California, outfielder.
See, I'm going to have to shorten. It sounds great when I make them, but I got to pay attention. I've got 10 seconds because it's cutting off. I'm trying to put too much information there, in other words. Well, here's a steal attempt. Glasscock is in there safe. And I have the ability when I edit to see how long it is. I just wasn't paying attention to it. Ooh, off the wall by Klazuski. So I'm going to quick play. Go right to the next batter. Here he is. Just checking my sound. Oh, see, I've got 9 seconds of plate music. It's good to know. I thought I had 10. Oh, nice, Robbie. Mike Trout with the out. So, let me start this over again. And I'll just, maybe I'll walk here and just show anybody that's interested how you can do this. I have a sound file. All the game sounds are in here, I should say. So if we take a lot of the sounds that are standard in the game, I'm just dropping in these files I make. Here's a name for each player.
He led the league in home runs with 43 while winning the MVP in 1953. Third baseman, Al Rosen.
That's an example of the sound file that's in there for Al Rosen. I just got to realize the game's going to limit that to 9 seconds, so I can't put as much information as I want. But I'm exporting all these MP3 files from Microsoft Azure and having fun with the neural voices. So once I get them loaded into the sound folder here, when I go into the players, it's pretty cool because you can just grab a player individually. Like here's Lefty or Bill Pettis, and right click and modify them. And under modifications, you can see over here under the photo, you've got plate music. So if I click on plate music, I can search all my plate music here or play what's assigned to him, which is this one.
Let's hear it for the fine fielding first baseman and catcher, Negro and Cuban League star, Bill Pettis.
And that's what it sounds like. So I just got to make sure I keep it under 9 seconds, and I'm able to get that Microsoft Azure to really use different voices and play around with the pitch for what I think sounds decent. So I'm going to have some more fun with that this weekend for sure. But, I've got some in here. Here's one.
Stepping to the plate, the second baseman for your Red Bulls, the 1975 and 76 MVP, Joe Morgan.
It's one for Joe Morgan. I got one for, where's Josh Hamilton here? I put in. Here's Jack Glasscock is there.
Up
Josh
to
Hamilton.
bat. Outfielder and 2010 MVP, the great Hambino, Josh Hamilton.
So just thought I'd come on real quick and just share because I'm having some fun with this. MV may be doing a broadcast here later, no doubt, playing some games, but just a little bored running through this and thought I'd share because I had messed around with the sounds a while back, but today just spent some time trying to figure out how I could use something free. So I've got a Microsoft account signed up for Azure and then just read some of the tutorials on how you can go into here and their cognitive services, and it's called Speech Studio. And I can just come in here and type whatever I want. So I can say, let's say, next up, we'll just say, I'm going to say, I want it to say, next up, center field for the Giants, Willie Mays. I go over here and grab this voice.
Next up, center fielder for the Giants, Willie Mays.
And I can change the style. So I can have him shout. I've been doing shout. So if I change it to shout, this is what he sounds like.
Next up, center fielder for the Giants, Willie Mays.
And I like the kind of, announcement, but I can go over here to the pitch and I can bump that down one notch. And I can change the rate a little bit. And then there's what it changes it to.
Next up, center fielder for the Giants, Willie Mays.
And then as we take the pitch lower, each time it's going to get a little deeper.
Next up, center fielder for the Giants, Willie Mays.
And, we can just change the speed and everything. So this is going to be fun for me because I'm just going to tinker around with some walk-up music for some of the, or walk-up announcement, because some of the other things I've done is downloaded some other audio clips because I don't have to do just that file. We could actually have some music. So here's Fred Goldsmith, for example, and I've got some songs saved in here. I can just right click if I want to do plate music, and I've made some short little clips of stuff. Like I got some 1920s music on here. Oh, here's some Led Zeppelin, so I can assign that, and then got a few others that I was testing out here too. Here's Catcher Almeida.
Next up, the catcher and a Cuban baseball legend, Rafael Almeida.
Let's see what else I got. Get some era-specific music, things like that. So anyway, oh yeah, another favorite for some walk-up music, some Crazy Train. So anyway, just having fun with music. We've dressed up the game here for our league. Hey Jeff, glad to see you're here. And yeah, Robbie, good to see you. I never knew that existed till today, that you can have it generate based on quality versus games played and usage. But just having fun with the window dressing. Now that we've got all these custom cards done and that, I thought, hey, what kind of fun could we have if somebody's going to be on a homestand and they can maybe have some special player announcements or special walk-up music or whatever. So I'd been really trying to explore, could I get into Microsoft Azure and play around with this, because it's just been a blast. But it's like going down another rabbit hole with the project. So I'm going to pick my time wisely, I think, because I don't know what the payback is for this. Like, what am I going to do with these sounds? It's cool for a while, and then what next? So uh, stay tuned on that. But definitely sharing that if anybody hasn't gone to the custom sounds. Another thing you can do is if you had like a custom sound that made sense for that park. The other thing that people may not know, I didn't till this edition, is if I go into a team, take Jersey here, and I go to modify them, we have all the normal things here that make sense, which are the name and the year and park and all that good stuff. But you can you can have a victory song, also stadium sounds. Now I've seen this earlier when this edition came out, but I mean, if you had a special sound that was recorded at a stadium or something they do, you could have that just be special effects that are when you play that stadium. So I mean, I don't know how many people go into this kind of, I call it window dressing or the bells and whistles, but it's here. So I've been doing logos and road and home uniforms for the MLB seasons because it dresses the game up. But interestingly, never mess with stadium sounds. But if you want to do any custom sounds, I did go down, I think it was at Actions PC Sports Community website and downloaded, there's somebody that made some available extra sounds. And if you just go into setup and down to custom sounds, it will open up all the sounds you have here. And a lot of these I got from there, and I've added a few. And then you can figure out where you want to use them. So if you want large crowd noise, let's do it. So I can figure out what do I want to have for like umpire taking a base. So I've got a couple different versions. If you've got multiple, you can have it rotate and kind of split the percentage of how often it uses. I think I've got some seventh inning organ ditties. You can see I've downloaded some other ones, so I've got the ability to kind of, instead of having the same organ over and over again, it mixes in some Mexican hat dance and other stuff, and I've been hearing that in the games. The same thing with announcers. I found some other stadium vendors, so I've mixed in some of those sounds. So let me see if we've got any that we can show off here.
Reds expression, man. Hey,
Here's
get
soda.
your sodas right here. We got an ice cold. The ice is running off them. Get your soda right here. I know you're sweating and thirsty. Get your ice cold soda. Get your popcorn and peanuts right here. We got groovers and grabbers and hot dog, all kind of popcorn that ain't been popped. You'll find it right in back. Pop.
So anyway, just showing off a little bit of the sounds. If you haven't messed with it and it interests you, hey, get in there. There's so many different little things that you can poke around and find, add to the game just to make the experience a little better. I am enjoying some of the new background stadium sounds, and I thought, hey, how cool. Let me try to get some walk-up music. But now that I know in the game, we go to game preferences, and we go to sounds, you can shorten that down, right? But it's only giving me 9-second max. So I thought it was 10. So some of the player announcements got cut off right before their name was pronounced. So I have to make sure I get it done in 9 seconds. So I may go back and set those up, throw them in, and see how fun that sounds playing a full game. And then you can adjust the sounds here back and forth, make them a little bit louder or not. So thought I would share. That's all I got. Had a little bit of free time. Now I'm going to go do some other stuff. But I don't know if MV's going to be doing a game sometime soon. Might be morning his time, so I'll keep my eye out for that. But glad those of you that hopped on here. I know Robbie and Jeff hopped on. Good to see Jeff. I'm going to head out. This is just a short hop on, chat a little bit, kind of show these sounds off. And if anybody wants to get involved with that, making your sounds, and you got a Microsoft account, like I've got a 365. I just pay yearly for all the $100, I think, or something like that, yearly to have access to everything. You just sign up for Microsoft, go to Azure, the cognitive services, you can sign up. And then I think I get 5. Let me see what, trying to think what the price was. Yeah, anyway, it's 500,000 characters for free. Then if you were doing more than that, like if you were doing a bunch of, um, project work and that, it could get expensive. But I'm just doing a couple sentences at a time and saving the files for name. So, yep, Robbie, have fun with that. Sometimes it's hard to decide which 5 to activate because we got to get it down to 25 for sure. But gentlemen, have a good evening and probably be back or be around sometime this weekend. So have a good night.